What's up, guys? As I've said before, you guys decide what videos you want me to do, and this is something that I've been getting tons of emails. How did I theme my phone? But before I get started, I want to thank Colorfulvisuals.com for creating this awesome theme. If it wasn't for him or them, we wouldn't have this. And also Breaking Bad, he actually did a tutorial on how to theme the phone. But of course, I took that theme and I'm going to create it a little bit of more of my style. We're going to do it like a boss. Let's get started. So the first thing you need to do is look down below. I've added a link to a zip file that you must download first. Once you've downloaded this file, it will be called SD card. You'll notice a bunch of folders here, but pay attention to this first. Read the Readme text first. You'll notice that these are the applications that you will need. So before you start, make sure that you download all of these applications first. I've included the links here: Nova Launcher, UCCW, Minimalistic Text, Widget Locker, and Metro Station. I've added $2.99 here because that's what Widget Locker cost. These hex colors we'll go over a little later. So assuming that you've already downloaded all of those files, what you need to do next is drag all of these files, with the exception of this one called sources, into your SD card, or since you're using the Nexus, the SD card partition. Okay, so I already have my Nexus hooked up here, as you can see, Galaxy Nexus, and all I need to do is show you guys, drag all of these into that directory. So I already have them in there, so I'm not going to go ahead and do that. And once you've transferred all that, then we're going to get started with the next step. So those files that you copied over to your SD card are going to facilitate the installation process. After you've copied those files, let's go ahead and wipe everything from the screen. As you can see, I'm down to the bare bones, just the background. The first thing that we want to do is restore Nova Launcher backup. Okay, so go ahead and press down and click on the little wrench up here. Now you're going to find where it says, or look for backup. In here, click on restore. Now if you've copied the files correctly, you should see something that says Nova Boss 2. And go ahead and click on that. Now mine is already restored, so I don't need to do that. Basically, it configures the whole settings, and it only allows you, or it only has one screen, which is the one that we're going to be working with. Okay. After you've done that and restored everything, what you want to do is, let's start with the wallpaper. Once again, if you've put the files in the appropriate directory, you should be able to find where it says wallpapers and find the wallpaper associated with this. So this gets a little tricky, but basically you just want to push down first and then up. And if you notice, everything is aligned properly so that this is what you're going to see. Okay, now go ahead and click on crop, and you will see that we now have the background. As you can see, this is going to be a theme that requires a lot of transparency, but we'll get to that a little later. I'm going to work from the top to bottom. I figure it would just be a lot easier to do it that way. Okay, so the very first widget that I have up here is the Google Drive. Okay, so go ahead, long press, click on widgets. I have a lot of widgets, that's why sometimes it takes a little bit to load. And then find, I don't know if it's Drive. Yeah, here it is, Drive. Okay, now it'll ask you what email address you want to use. Go ahead and click. I have several. Down press, and what you want to do is click on resize. You're going to have to do this a lot for a couple of the widgets. Just resize it, and there you go. That's the very top. So up here I have my Google Drive widget. Now the original theme had like Wi-Fi on and off and a couple other different widgets. When you can follow, I'm going to post that link below to the original theme. I decided to use Drive just because I like that better. So now that we added Google Drive, we're going to move on to the next step. If you've paid attention, we've lost our notification bar, and this can be very difficult to use the pull down sometimes. It sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. So what the author created, which I think was a great idea, is using a Nova action. And what you want to do is select on expand notifications. That means every time you click on this little triangle here, which looks kind of nice, it will expand the notifications. Obviously, we don't want that sticking out like a sore thumb, so we're going to go ahead and long press, click on edit, and now you want to edit the image, okay? Now, in that folder, you should have one called transparent, or excuse me, invisible icon. Go ahead and select that. Now, of course, you can't see it. You're going to have to sort of guess. It's going to be in the middle, and it's invisible. You can't see it. So go ahead and click on OK. So now when you click on here, it will bring down your pull down notification, which is very nice. So now that we've created this pull down notification shortcut, let's work on these categories. As you can see, this has a really beautiful color wheel. The original theme was a little different. I've actually created different categories like office, media, miscellaneous, social, and of course I've included the PSD file so that you guys can edit it and do whatever you want. So what we need to do now is create the application folder so that when you press on any of these areas, it will show up your apps. So it should work, not sure though, but when you click on that X, it should bring you to the app drawer. Now if that doesn't work, what you could do is long press, Nova Actions, and use the app drawer, just for right now. That way when you click on this, it'll bring you to your apps. I'm going to go ahead and delete that because I don't need it. So let's go ahead and do some applications. So I'm going to use, let's just see, Android Zip, just for the demo. And then I'm going to go ahead and use Angry Birds. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create, let's just pretend this is going to go to media. Okay, so first of all, I need to change the color. Okay, actually, let's put it in Office. Long press the app that you want to modify, go ahead and click on Edit. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to change the icon. And the nice thing about Nova now is that you can use icon packs. So go ahead and click on icon pack. This is something that you weren't able to do before, but with the latest update you can do that. Go ahead and click on Metro Station, which is one of the apps that is required, and I'm just going to use whatever icon is here. I'm not going to look for it. Go ahead and click on Andy or whatever icon it is. Now, remember that text file, that Readme? I've included the color codes for the different color wheel. So in this case, I'm using the blue one right now. I'm just going to copy and paste that. And the Android Zip, go ahead and click OK. So now this matches that blue. Now I'm going to go ahead and do that same thing for Angry Birds. Go ahead and click on Edit. Change it to Icon Pack, Metro Station, and let's see if I can find the Angry Birds. There it is. Okay. Same thing, blue. Go ahead and click on that. Hit OK. So now I have two that are going to go into Office. Easily, we remember how to create folders, just drag and drop. But here's the problem. We need to make sure that this is invisible. Pretty simple. Once you've added all, make sure you add all your programs in here first, your applications. And then after you're done, what you want to do now is long press, same thing, edit. We want to do an invisible one. So go ahead and click on Files, Gallery, and invisible icon, center, hit OK. Now you can't see it, so you kind of have to remember where it's at, somewhere right there. Whoa, sorry. And then just move it over to the Office, okay? And that's it. Now I already went ahead and did all of them. So when I click Social, Miscellaneous, you can see I have all my apps. Oops. So that's the easiest way to do it. And as you can see, it could take some time theming every single icon. Now in one of my videos, I used Andy as a shortcut to AirDroid, and you could do the same thing. So let me go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and down press on AirDroid. It's one of my favorite apps, and I'm going to leave it there. It should probably, yeah, it works. And what you need to do is, again, do the invisible thing. It's something that could get tiring after a while. Go ahead and hit OK. Now, when I click here, it'll load up AirDroid. But I don't know if you remember, there was like this circular, it's actually a clock. What we need to do now is add a widget. And one of the nice things that Nova has is that you can have two widgets, one on front and one in back. This wasn't possible before, so it allows you to do sort of, I guess you could say, special effects like this. Click on the UCCW 3x3, okay? Now, what you want to do is, if you've added those files in the appropriate directory, like I've said, click on Clock Android, and you should see it. There is that. This is actually a clock. Pretty cool, right? So, long press that, move it to the center, and I know it's not going to align, and that's okay. What you need to do now is drag it this way, okay? Here's the problem. If you click on Andy, remember it's supposed to load AirDroid, it's actually going to load the clock widget. So what you need to do is hold it down and send to back. Basically, you're telling Nova to send that widget to the back and bring the other icon to the front. So now when I click on Andy, it should bring up AirDroid. Okay, so that's really cool feature in Nova that allows you to have this. So again, this is a clock which spins and stuff, of course, with the time, and it's very nice. As you can see, it just moved right now. So now if you've done everything correctly, your phone should look something like this. Let's move on to number 5, current conditions. So this is where we're going to apply the weather widget, which is also at UCCW. Go ahead and click on widgets. Now this is a 4:1. This one's a little tricky. Here, let's find it. 4:1. Go 4x1. There it is. Now, again, you should see weather. Clock Android was for the clock, and this one is for the weather. Go ahead and click on weather, and it should look something like that. Remember, you have to resize it, so don't be afraid when it looks small. Go ahead and resize it. Now we're going to go ahead and edit the information. Obviously, this was created by the author, and we're not in New Britain or wherever you are. So the way to do this is you want to click on it, and it'll actually take you to the widget. What we want to do is edit the static text, because this is a static text here. And I'm going to go ahead and click on text, and you could put whatever you want. I'm going to put Los Angeles just for now. Los Angeles. Okay, go ahead and hit OK. Now, in the event that, well, actually, let me show you what that looks like. So now you should see Los Angeles. Now, in the event that you can't see the weather, because this actually happened to me, what you want to do is go here to More, click on the settings, and make sure that auto location is turned on. Okay, that's really important. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Basically, depending on where your location is, it will get the information from the weather. And of course, you can edit the intervals and whatnot. Temperature in Celsius if you'd like. I'm going to go ahead and go back here. And if you could see, it works. Now, one thing I noticed, and sorry I didn't update it, but the weather looks to be a little bit high. You can actually modify it. You can modify anything, really. So first you need to select, and I believe this is current temperature, I believe. And what you want to do is click on this little, it looks like a keypad or, arrows, cross, and just use this to push it down a little bit. Okay, that should be centered. Go ahead and click back, and that should center it perfectly. There you go. So now everything is nice. Same thing, you can move things around and really modify it the way you want. The next step down here, Play Store, are basically the same thing. Bring the apps over, create invisible icons, and you should have access to the Play Store and the camera. It's basically shortcuts. Once again, I've included the PSD, so you can change the icons and really make it whatever you want. And the same thing goes for the bottom. These are just shortcuts to the phone, your address book, your text messages, and your web browser. And of course, you have the PSD file. You can modify those, and I did. The original theme did not have 5. It actually only had 4. So I modified the bottom, and it created this little, or added this little Nexus X logo to access the app drawer, which is nice. So as you can see, this looks amazing, but we're not done yet. I've actually left this next step for the last part of the home screen just because I consider it more like an optional thing. Go ahead and long press this. This is if you want your battery stats and time, and add a widget. What you want to do is you want to add, this is for the minimalistic text, and I believe it's a 2x1 horizontal. Okay, Now, if you've added, once again, if you added the files correctly, click on restore. I know I have a bunch of them, but the one that you want to look for is time boss 2. Okay? Yes, do it. Okay, go ahead and hit OK. Now this is the time. Actually, this goes over here on this side. What we need to do is hit resize and move this over, I think right about right there. Okay, so that gives you the time. Now what we need to do, this, I kind of like that because otherwise you don't really have time. And then I like the, I like the battery one too, where it gives you the stats. So same thing, minimalistic text, 2 by 1. 2 by 1, horizontal. And we need to restore, it should be battery boss 2. Okay, yes, confirm, hit OK. And now I have, and that one looks like it aligned pretty good. Oops, darn it. I hate when I do that, by the way, and I'm going to give you a tip on that too right now. Go ahead and hit resize, just for the sake of this demo. Actually, it's supposed to be right there. Okay, I'm going to give you a tip. I hate when I click on this accidentally, and that happens. So down here, disable action on tap. Go ahead and check mark that. Now whenever you click on it, nothing happens. Same thing with this one. You want to disable that because that can get annoying. Believe me, you will accidentally tap it several times, especially if you start, clicking up here. So now nothing happens. I kind of like that. I wish some of the other widgets. I believe you can even do that with this one too. So that way, when you click on it, this doesn't happen. And I think edit mode off. I think that's what it is. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so anyway, that's really nice. You just kind of leave it alone. The only thing is if you need to edit it, you have to kind of go back into your app and go through all that. Anyhow, so this is the home screen. It looks beautiful. We're just about done. Now we need to take care of the lock screen. Go ahead and load up Widget Locker, which will bring you to the actual lock screen menu. This is where you actually get to theme it out. But because we already have a file, I tell you, if we didn't have this, it would just take forever. Go ahead and click on Backup Restore. Restore. And what you want to do is look for Locker Boss 2. Okay? This will replace your current configuration. Go ahead and confirm that. So now, tap to Restore Widget. If that doesn't work, I'll tell you what you should do. Okay? Use minimalistic 4 to 1. Okay, and you want to restore, that would be time, Locker Time Boss 2. Okay, go ahead and do that, click on OK, and that's basically the time widget. By the way, you can throw that away if you don't want it, just FYI. The original theme actually didn't have that, but I like having the time there. So there you have it. This is now your new unlock screen. Let me go ahead and show you that once again. Go ahead and lock the phone, and this unlocks it, and this is also a shortcut to the camera. So there you have it. Pretty awesome theme, right guys? So there you have it, guys. Dark Pi UI Like a Boss 2. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It seemed very easy, but I can tell you right now that if it wasn't for those restore files, it would just be a mess. I want to thank Breaking Bad and of course once again Colorfulvisuals.com for creating this beautiful theme. You guys can modify it. I'm not too sure how well it works with other Android phones. I know that it was designed for the Nexus phone, so you might have to crop and move things around a little bit. But if you're pretty good at Photoshop, that shouldn't be too much trouble for you. Once again, guys, thanks for following my channel. New videos every Tuesday. So make sure you subscribe. If you have any questions regarding themes or anything else, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Google+. And once again, guys, you decide what video I should do next. So it's not up to me, it's up to you. And clearly you guys can see that I listen to you guys. I posted a video man, I can't talk right now. I posted 2 videos ago this theme, and look at that, on my 3rd video I'm already showing you guys how to do it. So that's because you guys wanted this video so bad, and once again I listened to you guys. Thanks again, and I will see you in my next video.